everyone. Welcome back to the Speak On It RM podcast. I'm your co-host, Bex.
And I am Mel.
And we are in part 2 of the episode, My Mom Warned Me About You. How many of y'all have ever heard that before?
Yes.
I have a lot of times. And make sure that before you watch this one, you go into the part 1.
Yeah, go watch part 1.
Because we talk about a lot of red flags and things to look out for there. But
and our experiences, too.
Yes, and our experiences. But we're going to get into part 2 because we still have some things that we have to say. Like some scenarios we're going to read out for y'all, you know. And we're going to focus a little bit more on, are they a struggling friend or a bad friend? And how to kind of differentiate the two, because not every friend is a bad friend. Some people, we're humans, okay?
Yeah.
And I have definitely been a struggling friend before, and it's hard to be a good friend when you're struggling. So
exactly, yeah. And some people like are just like growing in a sense, so they just need a little grace.
Still great. Exactly. Grace. Listen, I don't know where I would be without God's grace. All right, amen. Woo!
Because sometimes you just need to help a little, have a helping hand.
But let's get into this episode. So we're gonna start with maybe some little scenarios. Do you want to start with scenarios, or do you want to differentiate?
Okay, well let's actually talk, because the difference. Let's do the difference first.
Okay.
So the difference, so in my personal opinion, right? Because when you have a struggling friend, they might have tendencies to do something, but they're not like intentional. I feel like it's like they won't really be intentional, and they're doing something that's either out of like hurt, like you can tell that like this friend is like hurting or like something, and it's almost like a cry for help, but they might not even like realize it in certain sense, and then like I feel like if you have a bad friend, it's very intentional. They're just not. You know, they don't really value you. I feel like if it's like a bad friend, that's just kind of like my thoughts.
I agree. I would say, so before we started recording this, I was trying to I was asking, I was like, how do we differentiate between the two, you know, a struggling friend and a bad friend? And I remembered this thing that I saw somewhere, and it was more in the context of a romantic relationship, but honestly, this applies to any relationship. There's going to be, you know how they always talk about a partnership should be 50-50, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not all the time. Sometimes you're going to be a 70% and the other person will be a 30%.
Right.
Sometimes a person will be a 90% and you'll be the 10%.
Right.
And that's the same thing with friendships. Like, there's times, like, for example, us two, we've been friends for 18 years now, pretty much. And there are times where she shows up and she's 95% and I'm 5%.
Yeah.
Or the other time around, like I'm a good 80% and she's 20%. Like there's gonna be times where we know we're struggling. I can tell when she's struggling. She can definitely tell when I'm struggling. Let me tell you. Because I'm a person that doesn't really say it to a lot of people, but she already knows that something is wrong.
Same with me. We kind of both are similar in that way. Like if we're going through something, it's like
we can't hide things from each other. So, but there's definitely gonna be times where a person just has to show up more or has to do a little bit more for the two of y'all.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because I know that she would do it for me, and she knows that I would do it for her.
And you know what that just reminded me of? Because so relationships in general, all of them, it's love, right? It's love based. And a lot of people think love is just based off of feelings, but love is a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice that you have to make every day, 100%. Whether that's your romantic partner or whether that's your friends. Like, are you going to choose to love these? Are you going to choose to love these people no matter what they're going through? Are you going to choose to show up for these people even if it's hard? Like, sometimes I feel like a lot of people just go through stuff and they want to give up, or they want to turn away, and it's like sometimes it's gonna be hard, especially if you're at the age where, because I got to the age where it's like, all right, like the people who's I'm looking for people that I can do life with. Like I don't want just a friend that's gonna be there for us, and get up and leave when it's hard or whatever. Like I want my sisters. So it's like when you get to that age, it's like you think that going through life however long, praying and hopefully that we live long beautiful lives, that it's not, you're not gonna have stuff to go through, like hardships to go through with people. And like I feel like people just base love off of your feeling, and it's like it's so much more that if you're basing love off of feeling in a friendship or romantic relationship, you're gonna
be chasing new people and new things all the time that are never gonna fulfill you,
right?
Ever.
And even the scenario, like when people say, like, they say this too for relationships, but it can go like, there's a friend that like has qualities that you like or doesn't have. You'll go look for the qualities, like that person will have like 80% and you go look for that 20% trying to fulfill something, but they still weren't 80%.
Yeah.
So it's like you're missing all of these qualities because you wanted to push them away because of this little piece.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that all the time, and like I feel like that's about like choosing. Like, love is a choice. So it's like you got to choose what you're going to do. But some people, like, if you have a bad friend, they just don't choose you.
They don't.
They're like, I'd rather not. Or, like, they choose themselves.
They choose themselves.
It's very selfish and not selfless, which is love, which is sacrifice. Like, and that's what we're supposed to love each other how Christ loved us. So how are you loving and you can't be sacrificial and you're selfish?
Yeah. Because, like, what if I'm going through it and I'm not, I don't want to say anything to anyone and I'm isolating myself, these things. And then the person's like, well, bye.
No, for real. And also, too, like, there's been times, like, you don't know, like, there's been times where I myself have been going through something or feeling isolated, feeling pushed out, feeling whatever. And if I were to just think about myself in that moment, there's been a lot of times where God has used me in those weak moments to lift my friends up.
True.
And if I was still in myself, like feeling isolated, like, oh, they probably don't want to talk to me, like I'm not going to talk to anyone, I'm not feeling it today, like, like whatever. If I were to get in my head, I wouldn't be able to hold them up in that moment. Like, you never know, like, it's going to be hard sometimes. And I feel like that, like, struggling friends, like, when you're struggling in that way, I feel like that a real friend, like, they're going to see you struggling. And they're going to value that you're pushing and that you're choosing them each time. But, like...
Yeah, but, like, a bad friend would just see that you're struggling or just whatever, even if you're not struggling. But if they can't get anything out of you... That's when they choose to peace out. And that's a bad friend right there.
Or it's like,
they just can't get anything out of you.
I feel like it's just a very selfish. I feel like a lot of bad friendships are just very selfish because you don't know how to be selfless. Yeah. You don't really know how to think about others, even if you claim to. Like, I feel like it's very selfish. Selfish mentality that keeps people being bad friends. Yeah. And I know one thing that, like, really, like, that has happened, and we're talking about, this is it'll kind of be, like, tuned, like, kind of personally, too, because we've gone through some of this stuff in scenarios, but, like, one thing, too, that I've noticed, like, with some bad friends is, like, and this is kind of, like, spiritual manipulation a little bit, like, isolating and being, like, God told me to, so that's why I'm away from you, when it's, like, you need community. So it's like, if you're doing that, and I'm like, yes, God can isolate you and put you in a season, but you're still gonna have those people that they know that God is that still hold you up in that isolation season, that still know that God is separating you for a little bit, but they still you still got your people. I'm talking about
praying for you. Hey, if
you need anything, checking up on you and stuff like that. It's not just like pure like ghost. Like, I've had like a couple of people like isolate and use the excuse of God when it's like, no, he actually wants you to lock into your community, but you just don't want to. Yeah. Like, if you're isolating and not growing, that should show you that God did not tell you to isolate. Yeah. And it's like, if you do it all the time, that's not no. I feel like, because that has happened to me quite a bit, and it's like nah, like, you just don't want to have a real person to like speak to you right now and to like hold you accountable and to like lift you up. Like, I feel like you're just like shying away from it, and like that has happened, and I feel like that's kind of not a good friend.
And maybe it could be that you don't want to have that community of people anymore, and that's okay, but you have to have some community. You have to be around people who are, that they are going to lift you up, and that they are not going to feed into what you're going through. Right. They cannot feed into what you're going through. Yeah. If they are feeding into that, that's not a friend. If
or like
I'm
into
doing
your delusions.
yeah, like if I'm tripping, I know she will always tell me.
Yeah.
I know my friends will tell me, and they would be a hard conversation, yes, but like they would tell me.
Yeah.
But if they are feeding into,
Yeah.
that's not good.
Yeah.
That's a bad friend. So you need to be around a community that, yes, will be there for you, yes, will encourage you, will help you, pray for you, but also if there's something that you need to snap out of or something, they will also tell you, because that's their love for you.
And you have to be ready. Like people want these good friendships. Like we've had a lot of people, like, and this is just a blessing, but we've had like, even like on our social media pages, a lot of people that see our videos with our friend groups and they're like, wow, like I've really wanted friends like this,
yes.
or like I've like desired to have friends like this. But a lot of people say that, but y'all don't realize what it takes to really have these like strong like friendships like that. Like all of our friends, like we've had to go through a lot of stuff together, and it's like you have to be in the position to be ready to hear truth, especially when we're talking about you want a group of people in Christ that is holding you up. You have to be ready to hear the truth.
For
you
sure.
have to be ready to be convicted. You have to be ready to not be offended and act out of offense. You have to be ready. So it's like, do you really want these kind of friends?
Yeah.
It's like, do you really want them? Because it takes a certain.
It does.
It takes something to really have good, real friends.
Yeah.
And like,
and also,
are
you gonna be like what you want? Are you gonna be that to that people?
A lot of people are like, oh, I want this, but
if you say no, then you're not a good friend. You don't need friends like that.
It's like you're not ready for it. Like if you're not ready for the sacrifice and the selflessness of relationships, it's like then you're not ready yet. You need to work on that
from other people and then not give.
Literally, that's crazy. It's like you got to work on yourself first.
And like I said, it's not like it's always gonna be that. Like sometimes you're gonna give a little less, and people are gonna give more because of the seasons that you're in. But like, the thing is, you have to know that they would do the same for you. Yeah. And know for sure they would not hesitate to do that for you.
And like one thing I saw, because I saw like a quote, and it's just like, at the end of the day, like a struggling friend, like we said, needs grace. Like a struggling friend, like 100%. Needs grace. And if you can't practice grace, that's also a part of being selfless.
A struggling, growing friend.
Yes, a struggling, growing, what they need grace. Because we have a friend, we have a sister, she's younger than us, and she has had to grow, and she was going through struggles. If we would have just upped and left her, we wouldn't have had the things that's happened over the couple of years, and like had the, like, and seen her grow. Like, we are so proud of her. Girl, you know who we talking about. You know who you are. We are so proud of her, but like, it's also too, like, also a struggling friend that's like a real friend, they're gonna put in the work. They're going to put in the work.
That's true.
Because like our friend, she took the time. It's like when she locked in and like wanted growth for herself and was they have accountability as well.
And she pushed past her feelings.
Yes, it's like they have accountability. It's like when she saw that and locked in, like she started growing. Yeah. And it's like you could see the fruits of like her growth. And like a bad friend will not have accountability either. That's another thing. A bad friend will not have accountability. They will not actually like see what they're doing. They can think they do no wrong. They think it's everybody else and not them. Like that's something else. But it's just like at the end, a struggling friend needs grace. Because if we didn't have grace for her, we could have up and left. But no, like we love this person. We gonna choose this person. And then a bad friend needs distance. Ooh. I saw that so the quote was like, a struggling friend needs grace and a bad friend needs distance.
That's good.
Because a bad friend, you need to be over there. I need to be over here.
Respectfully,
stiff arm.
6 feet apart. 6 feet apart, like COVID times.
Nah, for real.
6 feet apart.
Give me six holy feet, amen.
6 holy feet.
Cause I'm not trying to. You don't need to be rubbing off on me. What you?
And I'm not even talking about physically. I'm talking about spiritually.
No, for real.
Mentally.
Stay over there.
Emotionally, 6 feet apart.
Stay over there. I do not want that over here.
Yeah, respectfully.
Yeah, then that's
love you. Love you. I do.
I love you and I pray for you and I hope that you are growing. I hope that all of that.
But that's when boundaries need to be set.
No, for real.
Because I will not be taken advantage of. This is this and absolutely not.
Yeah, that's an absolutely not. That's right there.
Absolutely not.
For sure. And like a lot of the times too, I feel like with that, it's like people expect a certain thing out of you, like in situations like that, but it's like, no, like I need to set these boundaries for myself because I know that if I stay in this, it's not going to be good. It's just not going to be good for me. Like, and that's the thing about like protecting your peace.
No,
people
for sure.
say like
Yeah, because like I said, I mentioned in the first episode, like I've always struggled with boundaries, especially in friendships of all places, and I would always stay in something that wasn't good. And I would always feel horrible about myself. And so the minute that I start catching things on now that I've grown and I've realized things, I start putting boundaries up. And I'm quick to just remove myself because I'm not going back into that again. Like, I refuse to get back into that again.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I do love you and I pray for you. But if I'm putting, if I start seeing that and there's no tell of, hey, there's no communication. One.
Yeah.
No communication, no accountability. And I just don't expect the same, then it's just like, I can't. I have to put a boundary there.
I'm like one of the people that's like, if I feel like I'm giving more effort, like all the time, and this is not like
all the time.
This is not like I'm struggling or you're struggling or none of that. Like, we could be perfectly good. Like, we're both on 100%. But I feel like that I put more effort to our friendship or more thought into that friendship or relationship. It's like, what? Like, what's the point? Like, if I'm not even like getting nothing back, like that's like goes back like part when we were talking about like making you question your worth for them. Like, that will make me be like, dang, like, well, am I really their friend? Like, do they actually care about me the way that they say? Especially people who call you sis, bestie, gang, homeboy, whatever they call you. Like, it's like, am I really that to you? Like, if you don't put in the same effort into this friendship that I do, like, I don't want to be in something where I value the person more than they value me.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of relationship is that at that point? Sure. And so, like, that's like a boundary with me, because if I start noticing things where it's like I feel like I'm always the one that's caring, like, I gotta go, because I don't like to put myself in situations where like I'm getting hurt constantly.
Yeah, because it hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, and that will hurt. And especially me, like, I'm the type of person that, like, I care deeply about people. And that was a problem for me, actually.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that we talked about that. The episodes before these, y'all, are attachment styles. And, like, I talked about that because, like, I care for people deeply. And so it's like, when I start to care for you and I love you, like, if I'm getting hurt, like, that's not good for me. That's not a good thing for me to be in. Yeah. But yeah, that's the difference between your struggling and bad. And this is our opinion. If somebody has something else, like, y'all put it in the comments for sure. But now we are going to get into scenarios, and this will be fun because some of the scenarios are not even like, they might not even be like, but like how we were talking about per se, but yeah, this is about to be good.
So we're gonna start with a kind of funny one. This is from BuzzFeed. Most of these are from BuzzFeed. So this is one scenario about, is this a good, or this is pretty, no, this is bad friend, I think.
Okay, bad friend. So let's see.
It says, she was so rude to me, even her dog noticed. 4 years later, I only missed the dog.
The dog noticed.
Bro, you know what's bad if the dog noticed.
No, but actually dogs, I believe that dogs be seeing stuff. Animals. Cats, and I feel like animals in general, I feel like they be noticing some stuff.
No, for real. Cause I bet you that dog was like,
he was like, that spirit gotta go.
No, for real.
Your dog was like, girl.
4 years later, I only missed dog is so real.
Not for real. Animals can do no wrong.
Yeah, no, for real. They're so innocent.
We love animals.
So innocent.
We love animals.
Yeah. I like dogs, but I have 2 fur cat babies.
Yeah, she's a cat. I'm a dog. I love dogs.
She was so rude to me that even her dog noticed. That is so funny to me.
Yeah, no.
Whew. All right, let's go into the next one.
All right, what's the next one?
I had a friend who always put me down, and I always put up with it because I honestly don't know why. I would say that she was not the worst. We did have some good times, but every opportunity to put me down, she took it. I always asked her to stop, and she was always saying that I was being too sensitive. One day, I snapped and lashed back at her, and she got angry at me for that one thing.
Absolutely not. That's an absolutely not. Oh yeah, I'm good. We're gonna play absolutely or absolutely not with some of these. That's absolutely not. Cause that sounds like
I have been around people like that.
Yeah,
who have made you look bad in front of people constantly.
That's giving pick me.
Oh, pick me.
No, especially because it's like, why you acting different when we in front of all these people?
Or just always has the opportunity to put you down. She's insecure. She's insecure. And she's projecting Yeah.
projection.
Yeah, because I've had some scenarios about that. I might not get into that, but basically, yeah, it's just
Yeah, no,
you can tell. You can just tell.
That's absolutely not.
Never, if you're ever in that scenario, never think that it's you, because it's most of the time it is
them.
it is that person.
It's them.
They're deeply insecure, and the only way that they're gonna feel better about themselves is to put other people down.
And that's not struggling.
No, that's not
That's
struggling.
bad.
That's bad.
That's bad.
That's
because
just
that
bad.
is
That's a
part,
character
That's
thing.
what I was about to say. A lot of the times too with bad friends, like it'll just, honey, that's their character.
That's
they need to work
character.
on. They are
Yeah.
not hurt. They need to work on that.
If you're
Yeah.
constantly putting people down, you're
There's something
deeply
wrong.
insecure.
Yeah.
You're insecure, and the only way you feel better about yourself is by doing the same to other people.
Yeah, and that's something that you need to go.
And I hope you get healing for that.
No,
Genuinely, I
that's
do.
something you need to go in the prayer closet about
Because we
right
are
now.
supposed to uplift people, not bring them down.
Yeah.
And if you call it a joke,
You're
is
not
it
joking.
though?
There's. I always say this. There's a little bit of truth to every joke.
Is it though?
It ain't. You serious?
Anyways.
The heavy breath. No, for real, because that's
This one's interesting.
okay.
He was one of my best friends for almost 20 years.
Oh,
After I got divorced, after finding out my wife was cheating for years, he called her constantly to make sure she was okay, never called me. You're done. You're done.
Absolutely not.
You're done.
Absolutely not. That's weird.
That's insane.
Because I would feel like that he was cheating.
She was either cheating.
No, because why are you checking up on her? You know her because of me. That's like
He wanted your wife. He
that's-
wanted your wife.
No, for real.
He
Because
wanted
that's
your
like
wife.
that's like right now, right?
Yeah.
She been my best friend for 18 years, and I've been in a relationship for almost 7. Right? That's like when we get married, and if God forbid, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. But something happened, and then she just go check up on him, and I mean, when I've been her best friend for at that point probably 20 something years.
Crazy work, dude.
I'd be like, Rebecca.
Absolutely. Listen, you don't gotta worry about that.
Yeah, no, never.
Never.
She would never. I would never. No, that's crazy.
I don't
That's
want
not your real friend. There was something underlying that he was missing
Oh,
the whole time.
babe, he wanted your wife.
He wanted her.
He wanted your girl.
Mr. Theo girl.
Mr. Theo girl. Dude, so
No, because that is crazy. That's absolutely not. You need another friend. Cancel the whole friendship.
No, for
Like,
real.
friendship.
You know what? I'm canceling our subscription.
The
Right.
card is declining.
Declining,
After 20
for real.
years, it's declining.
All right, so this one's interesting. My friend got angry because I didn't loan him money fast enough. I have been without money before, so I understand I was in a situation I could pass the favor on. I said I'd help him out in a few hours when I was free. He got angry. That's weird.
So you think you're entitled to his money?
That's crazy. Listen, she knows this. I hate asking for things. I hate receiving things. Even if people are like, hey, let me pay for your lunch. It could be $9. I'm like, absolutely
she
not.
need to get free
I
and
can't.
receive blessing.
I
Amen.
can't. I'm a bad receiver. God is working on
Drop
me.
in the comments, Rebecca received the blessing.
God is working on me.
Rebecca,
the Lord, Jesus.
receive the blessing.
Jesus, you're helping me. Thank you. And I've been getting better.
Yeah, she has.
But I would never in a million years. First of all, I probably wouldn't even ask you for money.
That's honestly,
if I did,
very interesting.
I would never get angry.
Yeah,
That's entitlement.
I was about to say that's
selfishness,
entitled, controlling,
and he's using you. That person is using
that's,
you.
Back to part 1. That's probably he probably asked that person for something a lot. I feel like that he probably asked that person for a lot of stuff.
Listen, that's just audacity. That's just plain
You
audacity.
have the audacity.
There's been a lot of that going around lately.
Because why do you have the audacity?
Why do you have audacity?
Who gave you the audacity to do that? Because it wasn't the Lord.
Imagine asking me for money and then getting angry at
Angry.
me because I did. It's not even that he didn't loan him money. He didn't loan him money fast
The
enough.
way that that has happened. That's what I was talking about in part 1. I had a friend that's like, they want me to do something. I'm like, yes, I'm going to do it for you. Get mad that I want to do it a certain way. Hold on, I'm still getting it done.
Let me breathe, dang it.
Let me breathe.
Let me breathe, dang it.
I'm still. Dang it. I'm still doing it. Dang. I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I love you, and you don't even you
Like,
want
damn, let me
to.
transfer my money in my bank first.
Be like, no, for real. Let me even check to see. Let's see if I can even help you for real. Like, hold on. Ooh, that's crazy. Stuff. No, for real. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. We're gonna do one more for y'all.
Okay, so this one's from Reddit.
Okay.
And this one goes, am I a bad friend? Recently, I can barely keep a friend for longer than a month or two. I think I could sometimes get like really clingy with certain people to the point where I text them every like 20 minutes, and I feel terrible about it because I think that's the reason I keep accidentally pushing people away. I apologize for basically everything, even when I know it doesn't matter. I get way too quickly attached to people, and it makes me feel like I always come off as too friendly to a concerning degree. Okay. Do I sound like a bad friend? Be honest, please.
All right. I would actually say this might be a struggling friend.
This is a struggling friend for
because
sure.
She needs to learn, like, the attachment, she might be very codependent on people, and that's something that she needs to work on and gain, like, independency. Being with herself, especially like the clingy and
20 minutes every 20 minutes.
I had an experience like that, and it was like a friend, like they would want to hang out like all the time or at the drop of a hat, like want me to do something, but I was super busy. I had a life, so it's like, but they would get like hurt by that, and it's like, you can't be like really clingy like that clinginess is that's like an attachment issue. That
it's just it's definitely an attachment issue. It's codependency, but it's also just very unrealistic to think that like
I'm gonna answer you every 20 minutes.
Girl, my friend, sometimes I don't even answer text messages in 2 days.
You texting me every 20 minutes of every single day.
You could expect a text message from me 5 to 7 business days. I'm sorry. I'm just horrible. You can't expect also that much from people to be just readily available for you like that. Like, we have lives, we have jobs, we have things to do, we serve in ministry a lot. Like, that's why I don't look at my phone and answer text messages.
She's kind of like bad at texting sometimes.
I'm horrible at texting.
But it's like I wouldn't expect her, like, it's just not realistic.
Like, but they know, like, they know that it's not on purpose. It's just like, I have ADHD too, so like for me it's like, I look at it and then I'm like, I answer in my head, but I can't answer right now, and then I'm like, I answered, and then I realize like 3 weeks have gone by and I never answered your text message. And I'm so sorry. I promise you, I answer text messages. It just take a little minute.
It takes a little bit.
But my friends know. We can expect that if we're not available.
That's definitely struggling. That's struggling, definitely a struggle a little bit, because they just got to go through some growth. That would be like grace. Like, after I told you, that would be grace. Like, so, But yeah, y'all. I mean, that's the scenarios we got for y'all today, and this is what we have for part 2, y'all. The difference between a struggling and bad friend. I hope you guys saw like the difference. Let us know like things that spoke out. Let us also, like we said before, let us know scenarios and things if you guys have one of a struggling friend. I actually like dropped that. Like, if you've had some struggling friend scenarios, like, I want to hear those. I do want to hear those. And like, if we find some stuff like in those comments and everything, like maybe one day we'll talk about it some more.
And remember, we've all been a struggling friend before.
Yes, everybody struggles.
We have. I was recently just thinking about, I had my friends over at my house one weekend, and it was a lot of fun. And I was struggling a lot the past few weeks, you know, and I haven't been able to show up all the way in the way that some people need it sometimes, but they were just there. They were showing me so much love and just laughter, like just laughter, praying. My friend Serena and I'm gonna shout her out. We stayed up until 3 a.m. talking, and then we both felt for the Holy Spirit that we needed to pray for each other. So we spent another hour.
That's what you need right now.
No, for real. And an hour after, we were praying, and we didn't go to sleep until like 4:45.
That's what you need right there. For sure.
The thing is, we're both struggling, but God still used us in that time, and we understood, like, we had that mutual understanding. We're both struggling, but hey, we're still here for each other. What you need. And like, I just found myself having a moment of just gratefulness of like, wow, like, I'm so thankful for my friends that they didn't leave me, that we don't leave each other in hard times like this. We lift each other up in prayer, things like this. And I know that, you know, if they're going through it, that I'm there showing up for them, or vice versa too. Like, it's always gonna be something like that. So I just had that moment. It was in the bathroom. I was just super, super thankful for them. I almost started crying because I was just like, man, like, sometimes we don't feel deserving of friendships like that, but it's like, remember, we're human. We need grace. And they're human too. They need grace. But like, just make sure that you're around people like that.
Yeah.
You know, make sure, check your circle. Your circle really, really matters.
Yeah.
Really,
but
matters.
You guys, we will see you next time. Stay tuned for us to talk about good friendships and what those look like. Drop the comments, like, subscribe, and always remember to not only speak on it but act on it too. We'll see you guys.